Hello everyone, hope all of you are safe and healthy. Welcome to IASbaba's Rapid Revision Series for Prelims 2021. This is session 47 and day 65. And the topics we have are Indian art and culture. And these are the hot topics we are going to discuss. That is the Yoga and Savarikpa, then Ayurveda and Unani, and then Siddha and Homeopathy. Friends, all these three are related to medicines, we know that. And then zardozi and kalamkari art, and then fulkari and pichuai embroidery, and then rubbery and shamilami art, and Kasuti and Kathi embroidery, and then Crivel and Gatha works. So these are related to paintings and embroideries. Then Sankirtana and Tataras of Jandiala Guru, and then Navros and Kumbha Mela. Friends, we know that these are in the intangible lists of World Heritage of UNESCO. Now, come to the first one, Yoga. Yoga is also the name of one of the 6 schools of Hindu philosophy. Friends, we know that Nyaya, Vaisheshika, Sankhya, Yoga, then Purva Mimamsa, Uttar Mimamsa, these are the philosophies and yoga is one of them. And then the yoga school relies on 3 of 6 pramanas. So what are the pramanas? They are Pratyaksha, Anumana and Shabda. Friends, relating this to medicine, Pratyaksha means experiencing the symptoms with our own. So when we experience the symptoms, we get Anumana or we get the doubt. So we infer why the symptom has occurred. And then Shabda or Aptavachana, it means testimony of reliable source. So when we have a symptom and when we know the source of it, we go to a doctor or we go to a reliable source and we take the suggestions. So this is how diagnostics, then treatment and cure are being provided by yoga. Then the yoga school conceives the world as composed of 2 realities, that is Purusha and Prakriti. So Purusha means the living organisms in general and Prakriti means environment. So when there is a change in environment, there will be change in the human being's life or even in the lives of other creatures. That is, when there is a sudden change in the weather, there will be sudden change in the health as well. Then Patanjali's Yoga Sutra. So Yoga Sutra is a collection of 195 sutras or aphorisms written in Sanskrit, and it is dated between 500 BC to 400 AD. So almost all the Yoga Sutras that come between 500 BC and 400 AD are being compiled by Patanjali in his Yoga Sutra. Then in the treatise, Patanjali describes yoga as having 8 limbs or Ashtanga. So what are those Ashtangas? They are Yama, Niyama, Asana, Pranayama, Pratyahara, Dharana and Dhyana. So comparing this to medicines, Yama means abstinence. That is, you have to abstain from eating junk foods in order to maintain a good health. Then Niyama, you should have a strict rules in your life. When to eat, what to eat, how much to eat, all this should be fixed. Then Asana, yoga postures or physical activity. Then Pranayama, breath control. So if you have a good breath control, it will be helpful for circulation and respiration. Then Pratyahara or withdrawal of senses. So your tongue, your nose, your eyes should be aloof of senses. Then Dharana, concentration. Concentration helps you in mental health. Then Dhyana, meditation. So if you are depressed, if you are suppressed, then meditation can bring a good mental health to you. Then Samadhi. Friends, Samadhi can be the stage of bliss or it might be also meant to be death. So death is also a treatment for those people who are suffering from excruciating pain. So like cancer patients, for them death can be the best treatment. Then Hatha Yoga. Hatha Yoga emerged during Middle Ages, that is 500 to 1500 AD. And Hatha means force and what is practiced with a focus on the physical exercise, that is asanas and breathing exercise. So Hatha Yoga is mainly related to physical exercises. Friends, you know that in yoga, the first stage is the physical exercise and the second stage is pranayama or the breath control. And third stage is dhyana, the mind control. So body control comes first, breath next and mind in the last. So Hatha Yoga is primarily related to this physical control. Then Hatha Yoga is a preparatory process of yoga so that the body is capable of sustaining higher levels of energy. So this Hatha Yoga is a preparation for higher types of meditation and breath control. Then the oldest text describing Hatha Yoga is Amrita Siddhi. Amrita Siddhi provides the testament for this Hatha Yoga, but however, it doesn't provide it explicitly. And Hatha Yoga was written in 11th century AD. The source is not given. Now, coming to next one, Savarikpa. Savarikpa, commonly known as Amchi system of medicine. Then it has been popular in Tibet, Mongolia, Bhutan, Himachal Pradesh and other areas in the Tibetan region. And Savarikpa is based on principles of Jungwa Nga, that is Panchama Bhutas and Ngepasam or the Tridosha. Friends, Panchama Bhutas, we know that those are the 5 basic elements of nature, that is air, fire, water, etc. And then Tridosha means or Ngepasam means the Vak, Pitta and Kapha. So this is very similar to Ayurveda, that is Vata means blood, then Pitta means digestive juices, and Kapha means the mucus or the sputum, we can say that. Then the physiology, pathology and pharmacology of this system are established on those theories. So on the basis of Panchamabhutas and Gapasam, the physiology, pathology and pharmacology of Savarikpa is based. Then the medicine and diet used for treatment of disorders are also composed of the same 5 basic elements. Then the basic theory of Savarikpa may be adumbrated in the following points, that is the body in disease as the locus of treatment. So we have to treat the body particularly which is in disease, a common thing. Then the method of treatment is through antidote. Friends, antidote means a antiviral for a viral, then antibiotic for a biotic disease. So likewise, or in sometimes even the Panchama Bhutas can act as antidote, because gas can release gases. So we know that when you drink Pepsi, Coca-Cola and all, the gas produced by these Coca-Cola or Pepsi, they will release gases. So likewise, even element can act as an antidote of its own. Then medicine that cures the disease. So even some medicines are being provided as per Sovarikpa. Then pharmacy and pharmacology. Some medicines like tablets, tonics are also being provided in this. So this is a brief account of Sovarikpa. Then come to next, Ayurveda and Unani. Friends, Ayurveda, the oldest known texts of Ayurveda are Charaka Samhita, Sushruta Samhita and Ashtanga Hridaya. So these are the 3 texts of Ayurveda. Then these texts detail the effect that 5 elements found in the cosmic system, that is the Panchama Bhutas once again, the earth, water, air, fire and space. So these, they have some influence on the body, and that is being the basis of Ayurveda. Then according to Ayurveda, each person will be influenced by certain elements more than others. So sometimes air will be having greater influence, fire will be having greater influence, and for some people earth will be having a greater influence. For example, for short tempered people, fire is having the greater influence. Then the cool tempered people, they will be having a greater influence of earth. So likewise, then Ayurveda categorizes the different constitution into 3 different doshas, that is the Vata, Pitta and Kapha. We have spoken that Vata means blood or the circulatory system, Pitta means the digestive system or the gastric juice, then Kapha means the sputum or the mucus. Friends, Vata is related to the motion of the body. Friends, on those times nervous system was not found, so the circular system itself, it catered to the motion of the body. And how the air mobilizes every time, so the same way our body should be mobilized, our body should be able to move, should be able to walk all the times, just like air. So air is dominant in Vata. Then Pitta means that is fire, that is how a fire burns everything, the same way our stomach, it should burn our food that we eat. So that is why fire is dominant in Pitta. Then Kapha means that which douses the fire. So when there is corroding acids, so then this mucus, it will control the acid or it will neutralize the acid. The same way water will neutralize fire. So water is a dominant element in Kapha. So this is how, through simple techniques and with the help of 5 elements, Ayurveda will treat the diseased people. Then the dosha affects the shape of one's body, then bodily processes and temperament of one's mind. So these 3 doshas, they will affect, or the variations of them will affect the movement of one's body, then the shape of one's body and the process like digestive system, respiratory processes and others, and also the temperament of one's mind. Then by understanding the qualities of our natural constitution, we are better able to do what is needed to keep ourselves in balance. So how to keep these Vata, Pitta and Kapha in balance? So how to keep the Panchama Bhutas in balance? All can be detailed and it can be practiced if we have a knowledge of this. Friends, the greatest contribution of Ayurveda is that the customized medicines, that is on the basis of the nature of one's body, we will give the medicine. So even today in allopathy, this research on customized medicine, that is medicine based on the genetic combination of a person, is being researched even today. So this is a brief account of Ayurveda. Then come to next, Unani. Friends, Unani system of medicine owes its origin to Greek philosopher and physician Hippocrates. So we know that doctors in their MBBS graduation, they take the Hippocratic oath. So that is the Hippocrates who was the founder of Unani. Then in India, Unani system of medicine was introduced by Arabs and soon it took firm roots. So it was Arabs who introduced Unani to India. It is not originated in India. Then as per Unani, disease is a natural process and the doctor has to aid the natural forces of the body. So there is no external treatment for this. Every disease can be cured by the body itself, and it is the duty of the doctor to force the body or to encourage the body to cure on its own. Then Unani medicine is based on humoral therapy or the humoral theory. That means, friends, the humors are the liquids of our body, are the chemicals of our body. They are the constituents for the cause as well as treatment of diseases. So what are the humors that are present in the body? Those are dam or the blood, then belgam or the phlegm or the mucus, then safra means yellow bile. So yellow bile means the bile juice, and it can also be treated as the pancreatic juice as well, basically the digestive system. Then sauda means black bile. Friends, this black bile is something which is related to the brain. So in brain we know that a thick blood runs, so that is treated as black bile. And here as a total, da means the circulatory system or even the motion of the body, we have spoken in Ayurveda. Then belgam or phlegm means the mucus. Then safra means the digestive system or the pancreatic juice and the bile juice, and black bile means the mental health. So mental health means if there is a good circulation of black bile, then we will be having a good mental health. Then diagnosis. The Unani system of medicine has its emphasis on diagnosing a disease through pulse, urine and stool. So by nurse, ball and baras. So by testing all these things, the symptoms and the cause of the symptoms can be clarified. So even today in allopathy, we have that the pulses, urine and stools are tested before diagnosis. Then prevention of disease. For the maintenance of proper ecological balance, we need to keep water, food, air free from pollution. So we know that environment will be having a greater influence on human health. So if we keep the environment in balance, then that will also impact on the human health. Then the treatments of Unani are the regimental therapy. Friends, regimental therapy means that is treating a local area. So if you have a injury on the hand will be treated specifically. If you have an injury on the brain will be treated specifically. So such a type of localized treatment is called regimental therapy, and that includes venesection. Friends, venesection means sucking the blood from that part of the body and treating. So here in the figure we can see the venesection. And then cupping. Friends, cupping is a treatment wherein the vacuum cups are used to treat a muscles, spasm, cramps and others. So here we can see cupping, how they are being done. So cupping basically is said to be helping in circulation of blood. So when the circulation of blood is fast, then the muscles will cure on their own. And then diaphoresis. Friends, diaphoresis means excessive sweating. When you have fever, excessive sweating can bring down the fever automatically. So you need not take external medicines like paracetamol and others. Then leeching. Friends, if you have a snake bite and all, if the leech is kept to the wound, then the leech will suck up all the poisonous blood and it will be a treatment for snake bites. Then the dietotherapy, that is good diet is itself a therapy. Then pharmacotherapy, some medicines are also be given as per Unani. Then surgery, that is small surgeries are also recommended by Unani. So this is a brief account of Unani. Then coming to next, Siddha and Homeopathy. First, Siddha. Siddha evolved in South India and it is dated to the times of 3rd millennium BCE. That is in the 3000 BC, this Siddha was originated. Then Siddhas or Gurus laid the foundation for this system of medication. So Siddhas are the Shaivite saints. We have discussed Siddhas in the last class. They originated this Siddha system of medicine. Then Siddhas were spiritual beings who possessed the Ashtasiddhis. Friends, Ashtasiddhis means that is the expertise in common life, then spiritual life, then the health, education and other knowledges. Then Nandisar or Nandishar is considered the first Siddha and the Guru of all Siddhas. So Nandisar, the Guru of Gurus, is said to be the originator of Siddha type of medicine. Then the Guru is also a martial arts teacher and he is also known as Ashan. So friends, along with the medication, Siddha also treats martial arts, and Ashans, they will teach martial arts as well. Then the fundamental principles of Siddha methodology are Vatam or the body chemicals or the Vata Pitta Kapha we have studied. Then Vaityam or the medicine or the doctor we can say that. Then Yogam, physical activity. Then Gnanam, the knowledge of health, the knowledge of our body. So these are basic elements on which the Siddha system is based. Friends, Siddha system is very similar to Ayurvedic system, and this is a development in South India, and Ayurveda mainly developed in North and Middle India. Then the herbal agents used by Siddhas could be classified into 3 groups, that is Tavaram or the herbal products. Then Thadu, it is an inorganic substance, that is metals, acids, bases, salts. So all these are also used. Then Jangamam are the animal products. So animal products like cow dungs, raisins, then other parts of the animals are also used for medication. Some of the examples are Uppu or the salt, then Pashanam, poison. Friends, we know that even snake poison can be acting as a medicine sometimes. Then Loham, some metals. Then Rasam, some extracts of roots, leaves, etc. Then Gandhagam, some fragrance of animal and plant products. So all these can be used for medication. Then come to next, homeopathy. Friends, homeopathy is a medical system based on the belief that body can cure itself. So very similar to Unani, the homeopathy also says that body has the ability to cure on its own. Then it was developed in the late 1700s in Germany. So this homeopathy is originated in Germany, not in India. Then in 1839, Honeyberger, he came to India for second time and took up the treatment of Maharaja Ranjit Singh of Punjab. And this Honeyberger is said to be have taught the Indians this homeopathy. Then the Fakir Azizuddin called upon Honeyberger as all native physicians had failed to cure the swollen feet of Maharaja Ranjit Singh. So as a result of that, he came to India, and as a result of that as well, the homeopathy took birth in India. Then the working of homeopathy. A basic belief behind homeopathy is like cures like. That is, we know that the like things, they cure the like ones. That is, the snake poisons can act as treatment for snake bites. That is, if you feed the snake poison bit by bit every day, then you will not be harmed by the snake bites. Then, in other words, something that brings on the symptoms in a healthy person can, in a very small dose, treat an illness with the similar symptoms. So, if you give the same thing which brings symptoms in small doses, the same can turn into a treatment for the same type of disease. For example, a red onion makes your eyes to water, and that's why it is used in homeopathic remedies for allergies. So, red onion causes allergy, and it is also used as anti-allergen. Then, homeopathic doctors weaken these ingredients by adding water, alcohol as part of a process called potentization. Friends, we know that in homeopathy, the same which causes symptoms is given in small bits. So, we have to weaken that. So, for weakening, we have to add water and alcohol for it, and we have to process it in the form of potentization. Then, homeopaths also believe that the lower the dose, the more powerful is the medicine. So, that is why more and more water and alcohol is being added to them. Then, medicines come in a variety of forms like sugar pellets, liquid drops, creams, gels and tablets. So, we have seen various homeopathic medicines in the ready market. So, all those things can act as medications. So, this is a brief account on homeopathy. Then, come to next one, the zardozi and kalamkari. First, the zardozi embroidery. Friends, zardozi embroidery work is mainly specialized in Lucknow, Bhopal, Hyderabad, Delhi and several cities. It is a Persian embroidery form. So, it is originated in Persia, not in India. And Zardozi attended its summit under patronage of Akbar. So, it was during Mughals that embroidery got the prominence. Then, Zar means gold and Dozi means embroidery. So, Zardozi means a golden embroidery or the embroidery via golden threads. Then, under the rule of Aurangzeb, the royal patronage stopped. Friends, we know that Aurangzeb, he stopped everything. And then, as a result of that, many craftsmen, they left Delhi and went to the courts of Rajasthan, Punjab in search of work. Then, the tools used in this zardozi are the curved hooks, needles, then salma pieces or the golden wires, then sitaras, the metal stars, then round sequins and glass and plastic beads, and dhaka, the thread, and kasab, another form of thread. So, here we can see in the figure how golden wires, then dhaka, kasab, then other forms of beads are being used. So, this is how the zardozi embroidery are being made. Now, come to next one, kalamkari. Friends, kalamkari is an ancient style of hand painting. So, this is not embroidery, this is a hand painting work. Then, it is done on cotton or silk fabric with a tamarind pen using a natural dye. So, this tamarind pen and natural dye are worth remembering here. Then, this art involves 23 tedious steps of dyeing, bleaching, hand painting, then block printing, starching, cleaning and more. Friends, this kalamkari is not only drawing, it is the preparation of whole cloth. So, almost all the procedures that are involved in preparation of the cloth is itself a kalamkari. That is dyeing, bleaching, then starching, etc. Starching means you soak the cloth with the starch. Then, this kalamkari art, it dates back to more than 3000 BC. Then, the fabric samples depicting kalamkari art was found at Mohenjo-daro. So, Mohenjo-daro is the first evidence of kalamkari art. Then Mughals promoted this art in the Golconda and Coromandel provinces. So Golconda and Coromandel provinces are the prominent areas of kalamkari art. Then here many skillful craftsmen known as kalamkars are found. So in Golconda and Coromandel provinces, kalamkars are found. Then there are two types of kalamkari art, that is the Srikalahasti kalamkari art and Machilipatnam style. So Machilipatnam style of kalamkari art, it consists of abstract designs. So leaves, then creepers, then other geometrical patterns are being produced in this Machilipatnam style. Then in Srikalahasti style of painting, it draws its inspiration from Hindu mythology. Friends, we know that Srikalahasti style, it originates in Srikalahasti temple. So that is why Hindu mythology like Ramayana, Mahabharata and Puranas, they are prominent in Srikalahasti style. Then in recent times, two other types of kalamkari paintings, they have emerged, that is Andhra kalamkari. It is inspired from the forts, palaces, temples and animals and birds. So these are abstract designs. Then Gujarati kalamkari, depicting the motifs of mythological characters. So in Gujarati kalamkari, we have Ramayana, Mahabharata, etc. But in Andhra kalamkari, the forts of Golconda, then palaces, temples, then animals and birds are being pictured. So this is a small account on kalamkari. Then come to next, fulkari and pichuai embroidery. First one, fulkari. Fulkari or the flower work is associated with the culture of Punjab. This style of embroidery is patterned on odinis, shawls, kurtins and chunnis. So basically on chunnis and dupattas, this fulkari embroidery is found. Then it is spun by charakas. Friends, basically the thread for fulkari is spun on charakas and this fulkari is done by needles. Then fulkari is brought to India by the migrant Jat people of Central Asia. So this fulkari is said to have originated in Central Asia and that was brought to India by Jat people. Then it is mentioned in the famous love story of Heer and Ranja, a love and tale. It was written by Varisha. So Varisha's Heer Ranja, it depicts this fulkari embroidery. Then the embroideries were mere reflection of women's life. So various life incidents of women are being depicted. For example, Tirma embroidery or the Tirma fulkari, it is a symbol of purity and this is worn by elder women and widows. So basically the white threads are used for this embroidery. Then Darshan Dwar, it is used to wear while going to temple to offer a thanks to the god for fulfilling their desires. So this is highly decorated embroidery called the Darshan Dwar that is used or that is worn during the darshan of God. Then Bhavan Bagh are the 52 different designs. So this Bhavan Bagh is also an important part of fulkari embroidery. Then Meenakari, that is made of gold and white colored pat or gold and white colored threads and is decorated with small multicolored lozenges, that is referring to enamel work. Friends, Meenakari is basically the depiction of fishes. So how the fishes colors, scales are being depicted via shining lozenges. So all those things are embroidered via this fulkari Meenakari. So this is a brief account of fulkari. Friends, various life incidents of women, that is marriages, then coming back for the pregnancy, then going after the maternity leave. So all these are being provided with various chunnis and dupattas which are embroidered for that specific life incident. So that is why fulkari is a part and parcel of Punjabi people. Then come to next, pichuai. Friends, pichuai paintings have originated for about 4 centuries ago. Friends, pichuai is basically a painting, it is not embroidery. Then it hails from the state of Rajasthan, from Nathdwara town in that state. So in Nathdwara town of Rajasthan, these pichuai paintings are famous. Then the word pitch means bag and the word wai translates to textile hanging. So as a result of the meaning of this, they are hung behind the deity in the shrines of Srinath Ji. So these are basically the screens or walls that are hung behind the idols of Srinath Ji and they are hung in the sanctum sanctorum. Then these paintings have an acute detail than the traditional Fath painting of Rajasthan. Friends, we know that Fath painting of Rajasthan is famous for intricate designs. So here we can take a glimpse of how intricately the Fath paintings are being designed. But this pichuai painting is much more intricate than Fath painting. Yes friends, here we can see pichuai painting, how this is more intricate than Fath painting we can make out. Then come to more facts. The pichuai paintings portray Lord Krishna as Srinath Ji. Then Radha, gopis and images of lotuses are also being depicted. Then they also depict various Indian festivals such as Diwali, Janmashtami, Holi among others. So this is a brief account on this pichuai painting. Then come to next, the rubbery and shamilami art. Friends, rubbery art, it is being designed by the rubbery community residing in Kutch. So this rubbery art, it basically comes from rubbery community of Kutch of Gujarat. Then it is known for the use of mirrors in various sizes and shapes. So here we can see how the mirrors are being prominently used by this rubbery art. Then come to next, along with the mirrors, the chain stitch method is used to outline the garments decoratively. So here we can also see how the chains are being used for decoration of this rubbery art or the rubbery embroidery. Then most of the designs are inspired by mythology and desert habitations. So the life of desert and the mythology like Ramayana Mahabharata are being depicted in this rubbery art. Then come to next, shamilami art. Friends, this shamilami embroidery is called shamilami because of animal patterns it uses. So because of animal patterns, this shamilami art gets the name. Then in Manipuri, shamilami means wild animal patterned warrior cloth. So it was given to warriors by the king to acknowledge and appreciate their bravery. So that is why the name shamilami comes from. So friends, here we can see the cogs used for embroidery, and here we can also see the implicit depiction of the bull's face. Then it is also known as Naga Angami Chadars in Nagaland because they use shamilami embroidery work on their shawls. So even in Nagaland, this shamilami embroidery is famous, but however there it is said as Naga Angami Chadars or Naga Angami embroideries. Then Akiobi embroidery. Friends, Akiobi embroidery is a form of shamilami art. It is a type of shamilami embroidery which is inspired by a snake. So snakes are basically depicted in various symbols in this Akiobi embroidery. Then Akiobi in Manipuri means circular. So how a snake curls in a circular pattern, the same way the embroidery contains more and more circulars. Then it is designed in circles connecting with each other in the embroidery. So here in the embroidery we can see how various circles are used and how they are connected. So basically snake is not present in this embroidery. The symbol of snake, that is the circular path, is being seen. So this is a small account on shamilami embroidery. Then come to next, the Kasuti and Kathi embroideries. Friends, Kasuti is a style of embroidery of Dharwad district of Karnataka. So this is originated in Karnataka. Then Kasuti is a hand woven variety of embroidery. So this is woven by hand, unlike charakas of Fulkari embroidery. Then basically found in silk pallus, and it consists of interwoven geometric patterns. So here we can see how silk sarees, they have pallus made of Kasuti embroidery, and these are made of geometric patterns as we are seeing in the picture. Then come to more facts. Kasuti embroidery literally means handwork of cotton thread. So Kasuti, Ka means hand and Suti means embroidery. So Kasuti means handwork of the cotton thread. Then this embroidery pattern is found its source in Ilkal sarees, a variety of cotton sarees found in the regions of Ilkal. Friends, the Dharwad sarees, Ilkal sarees are much famous because of this Kasuti embroidery. So Kasuti embroidery is not only confined to Dharwad, now it is in all over South India. Then this was later extended towards silk varieties as well. So now Kasuti embroidery is present in Dharwad sarees, Ilkal sarees and also in silk sarees. So this is a brief account on Kasuti embroidery. Then come to next, Kathi embroidery. So Kathi is practiced by women of Kathi community in Gujarat. So Kathi embroidery originated in Gujarat. It is the oldest form of embroidery in the state of Gujarat. So this is the oldest form and this is worth remembering. And then it consists of intensely vivid colored threads, and these are used to create beautiful patterns. So intensely vivid colored threads are used in the figure as shown, and this is the trademark of this Kathi embroidery. Then coming to more facts, the most popularly used thread colors are scarlet, purple, yellow among others. So navy blue, purple and yellow threads are used extensively. Then Kathi embroidery is done in ornate wall hangings and door frames and also on dresses. So not only on dresses, even on wall hangings and door frames this can be used. Then Kathi embroidery can be classified into two major types, that is Aditya Fatia and patchwork. Friends, patchwork is basically like this, that is the embroidery is designed as a patch and then it is stitched to the textile or the fabric. But however, this Aditya Fatia is that which is directly embroidered on the textile. So this can be treated as Aditya Fatia and this one as the patchwork. Then one can easily notice lots of applique work which is used in Kathi embroidery. Friends, what is applique work? It is the making use of small geometric patterns to make a big geometrical figure. That is how we use small ovals to make a flower. This is an applique work. So much of these applique works are being present in Kathi embroidery. Then it includes animal motifs, flower motifs, peacock motifs and geometrical shapes. So these are very abstract. So no Ramayana and Mahabharata are used here. Then the embroidery uses a special kind of stitch pattern termed as herringbone. Friends, herringbone stitch is basically a chains type of stitching and it is formed likewise. So how the chains are being formed here? This is how the herringbone stitch is made. Then come to more facts. The most popular form of Kathi embroidery are Heer and Gureri. The Heer and Gureri might be some different parts in Gujarat and they might have followed their own types of or their own varieties of embroideries. So this is a small account on Kathi embroidery. Then come to next. Crivel and Gatha work. Friends, Crivel was originated as Buyuk's tapestry which is nearly 1000 years old and it was made in England and was given to France. So this Crivel work, it was basically originated in England. Then Jacobean embroidery is inspired by this Crivel. So the Jacobean embroidery of France is inspired by this England's Crivel work. Then the Crivel technique is a style of free embroidery. So here there is no the strict hand, it is a free hand embroidery. We will discuss free hand and strict hand embroidery for a while. Then traditionally Crivel embroidery is done on tightly woven linen twill. So a linen twill is made on a circular twill and on this the embroidery is made. So commonly we use such twills for most of the embroideries, not only for Crivel. Then recently other fabrics like Mata silk, cotton velvet and also jute can be used. So here in the figure we can see how the Crivel work is made on the jute cloth. Then come to more facts. A firm fabric is used and it is called the Crivel wool. Friends, this Crivel work is a tight embroidery. So that requires a sturdy wool thread and the Crivel wool is used for that. And then a Crivel needle is used to execute the stitches. And then the outlines of the designs are often screen printed onto the fabric. Friends, we have discussed that this Crivel work is a free hand embroidery. Friends, free hand embroidery means the figure is outlined first and then on the outline this embroidery is made. But however in a strict hand embroidery, the way you weave the cloth, that itself should form a geometrical pattern or it should form a figure. There is no outline that is formed initially. So this is the difference between the free hand and the strict hand embroidery. So this is a brief account on Crivel work. Then come to next, Gatha work. Friends, Gatha work also known as Homeopathy work or the Gatha Kinari work, and it is a type of metal embroidery originated in Rajasthan. So this metal embroidery, it originated in Rajasthan. So here in the figure we can see how gold threads are used for the embroidery. Then come to more facts. The applique technique with metals like gold, silver, copper, etc. is common. So applique techniques, that is making use of small geometrical patterns for making big geometrical figures, are being used. Then it is applied onto the edges of a fabric to create fancy patterns. So the pallus of saris, then dupattas are also made of this Gatha work. Then it is popularly used in edging bridal saris and lehengas. So in lehengas and saris, this Gatha work is extensively seen. So this is a small account on Gatha work. Then come to next, Sankirtana. Friends, Sankirtana is performed to mark religious occasions by Vaishnava people of Manipuri plains. So this is basically a Vaishnavi tradition and it is done by the people of Manipur. Then Sankirtana practices are centered on the temple, and in the performance the performers narrate the lives and deeds of Krishna through songs and dances. So the lives of Krishna is depicted in the form of singing and dancing in this Sankirtana. Then 2 drummers and about 10 singer dancers perform in a hall or domestic courtyard encircled by seated devotees. So it is basically an indoor skit and it is performed amidst of the rounded audience. Then Sankirtana has 2 main social functions, that is it brings people together and acts as a cohesive force within Manipur's Vaishnava community. So this is basically an attractive force which attracts people from all nooks and corners of Manipur, and it is a strength of unity as well. Friends, Sankirtana was already asked in the prelims, but however, a revision is also must. Then come to next, Tataras of Jandiala Guru. Friends, it constitutes the traditional technique of manufacturing brass and copper utensils in Punjab. So these are basically the copper and brass smiths of Punjab. Then the metals used are copper, brass and certain alloys. And these metals are also believed to be beneficial for health. Then cooled cakes of metal that are flattened into thin plates and then hammered into curved shapes, creating the required small bowls, rimmed plates to larger utensils are being produced by this Tataras of Jandiala. Then utensils are manually finished by polishing with traditional matters such as sand and tamarind juices. So even polishing is done by natural products. Then metalwork is not simply a form of livelihood for Tataras, but it defines their family and kinship structure and work ethics and status within the social hierarchy. So this is not only a work, it is a status, it is a hierarchy and it is a kinship as well. So this is a brief account on Tataras of Jandiala Guru. Then come to next, Navroz and Kumbha Mela. Friends, Navroz meaning new day is an ancestral festivity marking the first day of spring and the renewal of nature. Basically, Navroz is celebrated on March 21 and it is the new year for Persian Navroz. Then it includes rituals, ceremonies, cultural events as well as the enjoyment of special meal with the loved ones. Then celebrated for over 3000 years in Balkans, Black Sea Basin, the Caucasus, then Central Asia, then Middle East and other regions. So basically this is not only confined to India, this is a worldwide pattern. Then in 2010, the International Day of Nowruz was proclaimed by the United Nations General Assembly in its resolution. So now every year on the March 21st, the International Day of Nowruz is celebrated all over the world. Then this resolution welcomes the effort of member states where Nowruz is celebrated to preserve and develop the culture and traditions related to Nowruz. Friends, basically Nowruz being included in the list of intangible UNESCO heritages is not the effort of India alone. It is the effort of all those people of Central Asia and Middle East. So all those people's contributions have been fruitful when United Nations General Assembly it declared the International Day of Nowruz and included Nowruz in the intangible list of UNESCO heritage. So this is a small account of Nowruz. Basically this is a festival of New Year celebration. Then come to next, Kumbha Mela. It is the festival of sacred pitcher or the sacred pot and it is the largest peaceful congregation of pilgrims on earth. Friends, we know that in Indian tradition the gods are being consecrated or the abhishekam is made on God with the help of water, milk, ghee, etc. The same way the philosophy of Kumbha Mela is that with the help of that sacred kumbh or the sacred pot, even our body should be consecrated or abhisheka should be made even for our body because our body is also an essence of God. So that is why we take water from this sacred pot and we pour on our head. So this is basically the philosophy between Kumbha Mela. Then during this Kumbha Mela, participants bathe or take bath or take a dip in sacred river. So instead of using the pot, they directly go and take a dip in the river. Then the congregation includes ascetics, saints, sadhus and aspirants, kalpavas and others. So basically the sadhus, santas and even common people and devotees of Shiva, they can take part in this. Then the festival is held at Allahabad, Haridwar, Ujjain and Nashik. Friends, we know that Allahabad is on the bank of Ganga Yamuna confluence, then Haridwar is on the bank of Ganga river and Ujjain is on the bank of Kshipra river and Nashik is on the bank of Godavari river. So on the banks of all these rivers, people will assemble and they take the waters of these sacred rivers and they pour on their head or they directly take a dip in that river. Then it is performed by rotation 4 years once. So every 4 years once the performance is done in Allahabad and after 4 years in Haridwar, then after 4 years in Ujjain and then after 4 years in Nashik. So after 16 years the Allahabad Kumbha Mela comes once again. So every Kumbha Mela comes once in 16 years, but generally Kumbha Mela comes once in 4 years. So that is how this is celebrated via rotation. Then the primary bearers of Kumbha Mela are the Hakadas, Ashramavasis, the Agoris and others, and those are the people who live on alms. So these are basically the saints and sadhus. So this is a brief account on Kumbha Mela. Then come to the last part. Friends, India is being exalted to be the heavenly place to live in. not only by Indians but also by foreign visitors like geographers, historians and others. They exalted India to be the heavenly place to live in. But we Indians, we have spoiled India. Today Delhi is the polluted city in the world and several cities of India are unfit for life. So we have to change this. We have to remake India as a better place to live in. So that famous words that are adumbrated on Red Fort, that is Gar fir dos bar ruye zaminast, haminasto haminasto haminast. That is, if there is a heaven on this earth, it is this, and it is this. So it is our duty to make India the heaven on this earth. Else it is a disgrace for us to be born in India and to live in India as Indians. So we will do it in the near future. All the very best. Good luck, friends.